and welcome to Health Circumference. I'm Nurse PraiseGod. I hope you're all staying safe. I hope you're washing your hands regularly. We're using our face masks. We're using alcohol-based hand sanitizer, and of course, I hope you're observing social distancing. Today, I'll be enlightening us on a common disease condition known as malaria. As common as it seems, malaria is an enormous worldwide burden that has caused over 5,000 deaths in the year 2018. What is malaria? Malaria is a life-threatening disease caused by parasite that is transmitted to people through bites from an infected female Anopheles mosquito. The good news is malaria is preventable and curable. What is the cause of malaria? Like I said from my definition, malaria is caused by bites from an infected female Anopheles mosquito. And so the female Anopheles mosquito is the vector of malaria. And so when it bites an infected person, it gets the parasite from the infected person and transmits it to another person, thereby spreading malaria. What are the signs and symptoms of malaria? How do we know that this person is suffering from malaria? I divide this into two: the complicated signs and symptoms and the uncomplicated signs and symptoms. I start with the uncomplicated signs and symptoms. They are the common signs and symptoms that we tend to ignore or sometimes try to solve it with over-the-counter drugs. And sometimes it alleviates just the symptoms, leaving the parasite to infest on red blood cells, thereby leading us to complicated signs and symptoms. What are the complicated signs and symptoms? They include anemia due to low blood counts or due to decreased red blood cells, and so the person boils down to anemia. Convulsion. This is due to the increased level of fever. The person starts convulsing, and this could cause alteration in the mental state of the person. Thirdly, we have muscle pain, joint pain, diarrhea, and on rare cases, organ failure like kidney failure and heart failure. And because malaria could be fatal, it could also lead to death. And this is why we are taking this disease condition into consideration. What are the risk factors for malaria? I divide this into two: the genetic factor and the environmental factor. The genetic factor, we have the group A, group B, group AB, and group O. The group A are prone to this disease, and that is why they record the highest rates of incidence of malaria. Secondly, we have children under the age of 5 being very, very vulnerable to this disease, and so they also record an increased rate of incidence of malaria. What are the environmental factors? The highest environmental factor is people living in an endemic area and people traveling to an endemic area. They are prone to this disease and also record a high rate of incidence of malaria. Secondly, under the environmental factor, we have people staying in an environment surrounded by stagnated water. So the stagnated water provides a breeding space for this parasite. Also, people staying in an environment where cans are not properly disposed, and so the empty cans provide space or breeding space for the parasites. Lastly, under the risk factor, we have poor behavior towards our health, and most of other factors are embedded in this very factor. And so when we have a poor behavior towards our health, we do not consider our environment, we do not consider our hygiene, and so because of the poor state of our minds, we leave our environment untidy and we provide breeding space for these parasites. So how do we prevent ourselves from getting this disease? The preventive measures. Number one is getting rid of the stagnated water around us, cleaning our environment, ensuring and obtaining positive behavior towards our health, and also ensuring good hygiene. Also, how do we also prevent ourselves? The use of insecticide-treated net, which is highly recommendable and has been effective since 2016. Insecticide-treated net has been provided by the government, and we are encouraged to sleep under it. It is very, very effective. Thirdly, residual spraying of the house with insecticide is also very effective. And lastly, under the preventive measures, we have a positive behavior towards our health. I am very positive that if we have a good behavior towards our health, most of the common diseases around us will be eradicated. In summary, I'll make this illustration. In Nigeria, about 100 cases of malaria was recorded, and 215,000 people died from HIV, and 300,000 people died from malaria. One would say HIV is very deadly. Why do we record a lesser death in HIV than in malaria? This is because we tend to ignore the effects that malaria could pose. Most of the time now, people go for HIV tests in 1 or 3 months. They leave their house to go for HIV tests. Meanwhile, malaria is not tested for. Sometimes we just get the, like I said, over-the-counter drugs, and which are mostly preventive drugs because you could only get the curative drugs from the hospital. And so we do not tend to take matters concerning malaria very seriously. And so people die mostly from malaria than from this deadly virus. And so I hope that we will develop a positive behavior towards our health today, and I hope that we will help enlighten even our families, our relatives, and other people so as to increase a positive health behavior in the society. I hope you all stay safe. I hope you all stay positive, and I hope that we increase the awareness of our health in our society. Thank
you. We are called to serve humanity.